Hello, hi, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you joining me today. We're gonna dive on into Loveland and see what's going on and what would be helpful for you to know. This reading is timeless whenever it finds you. It's the perfect time. See what resonates and leave what doesn't. And always follow and trust that divine inner guidance that's in you. Try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition, so your decisions are sound, based in love and for the highest, greatest good of everyone. So we're all uplifted in love. Let's begin. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all. What are the messages that would be the most helpful to know about today for the collective that's watching this reading? Please and thank you. Helpful messages, a little insight into romance and love. Beautiful. This is somebody that has unconditional love for you. Freedom. You probably feel the same thing for this person. This is also the beautiful energy of self-love, giving yourself a big old huggeroo. It's unity, oneness, passion, affection, attraction. I feel like it's this self-love energy filling up your own cup, coming in with a full, beautiful, warm heart, not looking for someone else to bring that love into your life and then everything's okay. This is when you're connecting with the right person because you're connecting with yourself. You're also doing things in your life that you love doing, that make you passionate, that's making you attractive overall. That's a beautiful energy to come through. If there's also somebody new in your life, this is somebody who's showing you a lot of affection. Maybe you have a lot of chemistry with a certain person. But I feel like there's a well-roundedness towards this love. Look at how big that heart is. This is somebody you're connecting to with a really big, beautiful heart because they see your big, beautiful heart. It's beautiful. So let's see. What else would be helpful to know? Please and thank you. Oh yeah, so you got some love coming in. For some of you, this is somebody that was hit pretty hard by Cupid's arrow. For some of you, this overall beautiful energy, attention you're giving yourself, you know, it's like a vibration thing. You go out, you meet a stranger, you're talking about that thing you love to do, and they feel that authenticity in your soul, in your vibe. That's attractive. It's not the outside, you know, I'm getting that it's not how you look. It's your laugh. It's your personality. It's your enthusiasm. It's deeper than something on the surface. For some of you, you have quite a few people, you know, getting hit with this Cupid's arrow and maybe asking you out, looking at you with the old Google eyes. There's probably, for most of you, one person in particular that you feel really drawn to, connected to. If some of you haven't seen, you know, this Cupid's arrow energy in a little while, then your message is this: self-love, doing what you love, loving what you do, enjoying your own company. And I do feel like this may come out of the blue. Have faith. Love is coming. It's also a surprise invitation. So for some of you, this could be somebody like kind of, you know, hey, would you like my number? Or how about it doing that, you know, why don't you give me your phone? I'll put my number in there. I do feel like somebody is kind of, if they're generally a little bit shy, their confidence is a little bigger for you because they recognize they need to have that confidence because your worth I don't know. I feel like somebody generally had a wall up or was a little bit timid. And I feel like somebody is like, I actually see somebody giving themselves like a little pep talk. So it could be that some of you meet somebody, you have good conversation when you're out, a surprise invitation, could be at a party, a gathering, something local, anything like that. I feel like somebody had to like go to the bathroom. They're looking at themselves in the mirror and they're like, okay, you can do this. Don't let this slip through your fingers. You can do it. You got this. It's like they're giving themselves a little pep talk, to, I don't know. I even see somebody doing like that superhero pose with, their hands on their hips and give themselves a little boosteroo to be able to ask you out. So if somebody had a little bit of hesitation, they were a little bit nervous in conversation, I do feel like that's going to go away pretty fast. Maybe you make somebody a little nervous, but I feel like it's in a good way. It's because they like you. I see people blushing. I actually see sassy banter back and forth. This is also where some of you are just at the right place at the right time to meet the right person that has the right vibration of love. You guys do keep getting that one message that said one day when you least expect it, somebody is going to have such a kind, soft heart and treat you with utmost respect and unconditional love. I kind of feel like this is that same message. If some of you are hesitating on accepting that invitation, especially if it's maybe not directly correlated to somebody asking you out, but just kind of like a friend that wants to go out or a party that you hear about or hanging out after this, I do feel like you should go if you don't normally say yes. And even if it's not that first time that you go, I feel like there's something about you doing some things in your life that are a little different than your typical schedule that get you to the right place. And if some of you do have somebody actually asking you out, I don't think that you're going to be hesitating on this right person about saying yes. I feel like you've been thinking about it throughout that whole conversation, just hoping that they ask you. If there's somebody you're hesitating on a little too much, maybe you need to wait for, the next arrow that Cupid strikes at the right person, because you're going to feel that that energy is right. You're going to also feel like when it's a little bit askew, off target, because I feel like there's something in particular that's a bullseye. What's another message? Let's get one more from this deck. What's one more on love and Cupid's arrow? This is beautiful. Let's see, what else would be helpful to know about? Please and thank you. One more message. Oh, it's going to come fast. Whatever I said before about something out of the blue, as that light turned blue, it's going to come out of the blue. Something's going to happen and it's going to almost feel like it's shocking you. You also might be shocking some of your friends or family members if they find out all of a sudden you have this love in your life. It could also be that, I love that epiphany energy. Also with lightning, it's a lot of electricity, magnetism, energy that you will feel with the right person. You also may have somebody, if this is somebody that's surprisingly coming back into your life, for some of you, it could be somebody comes back and either their energy feels completely different than you remember, or they look completely different, like somebody had a transformation somehow. It could also be upheaval. I mean, that's kind of like the backwards tower energy. If you were just plateaued a long time and you haven't had a relationship in forever, and all of a sudden this person out of nowhere comes in your life. I mean, that might create a lot of changes overall in your life. Suddenly, you're including this new person all of the time. Maybe you come in like a flash to someone's life and they don't even know they were zapped back alive. I do feel like somebody's battery was low and there's a connection coming through where all of a sudden, like, somebody's energy is back. There's a pep in the step. It could also be this transformation happens because of, I feel like it's inspired. Like through conversation. You know, you have a conversation, somebody gets excited about an idea of something they never tried, and I feel like it's almost a beautiful domino effect. So maybe it is that something had to break down for something to build up correctly. I'm also seeing that the surprise energy is kind of like a surprise. You know, when you have those boxes that you open up and inside that is another box and inside that is another box? It's kind of like that. I feel like there's a peeling away, or there's something where just when you think you got a handle on something, there's another surprise coming. That feels good. It feels like it's not just, okay, you got to the end of the book. It's like, surprise, you get to choose your ending and there's a new book, you know, coming. There's a new chapter on its way. There's a new experience you get to have. It could also be for some of you, you surprise someone how much you've changed. Or, you know, if this is somebody brand new in your life, maybe it's a surprising conversation on how deep you are, multifaceted you are, knowledge you have. Maybe you go down the, you know, cool rabbit hole with someone on interesting subjects you don't normally talk about, but for some reason you open up, and it could be opening up someone's mind. But I feel like somebody gets more and more interesting, and I don't think it's one-sided. So let's go to the tarot. Let's clarify these. This is the Star-Kissed Tarot. Let's keep these here. And clarify love, Cupid's arrow, lightning. I also feel like with this, when someone sees their chance, their opportunity, you know, to connect or reconnect with the right person, I feel like there's this burst of energy where they know they have to like ask someone out. They know they need to open up a door or have a conversation or call somebody. Like create more memories is sort of what I see. I feel like somebody doesn't want to let this chance slip by because it might be really, you know how fast lightning comes in? It like lights up and goes away. I feel like somebody, once that light is on, they don't want something to go away. They want to figure out how to keep that lightning energy on all the time. Also, maybe there's something about an actual storm, but like real weather. Maybe you meet somebody like kind of in a lightning storm or when it's raining out. Maybe this is also a little sign that something might be coming soon for some of you. That might be a synchronistic message. You know, when you smell that, I guess you can smell, like when you smell that energy or that change in the air, when you know it's going to be a storm, or you feel that electricity coming. It's almost like you can almost feel that something is coming. But maybe when you actually have a storm happen, kind of expect something to happen after that soon out of the blue. All right, let's see. What are some extra messages to know about that would be helpful on love? Cupid's arrows. That, wow. Something is going to be a back and forth flow of energy, equal exchange, equal give and take. Also maybe something about it's interesting because there's a sunflower here, and I always feel like the sunflowers are in the sun card and they follow the sun. But here it's with the moon. So maybe this is somebody opening up about their emotions. This is where somebody is really generous with their time, attention, their everyday energy. This is tangible, touchable, you know, something that you can ground, feel, physical energy. This could also be somebody kind of sensual around you. This could be somebody who's not a lazy lover. Ooh, that's kind of nice because this is people, places, things, you know, what you feel in your life with pentacles. So if somebody is very giving, I feel like you're going to be very giving back. Also, maybe something happens around the full moon. It says generous giving. I think you're going to recognize if somebody is overgiving, you know, if it's kind of a love bombing situation and that feels uncomfortable. I don't feel like that's your true connection here. That could be something that suddenly changes in your life and you disconnect from. But if there was anybody in your life before that was making you feel imbalanced, unbalanced because they were taking too much, I feel like you're over here, you decided to take your energy, take your power back, take your beautiful, valuable time and love and give back to yourself. Because for some of you, you may have had somebody in your energy that was kind of a, you know, they'll take all that you want to give. You want to give? Thanks. But that could have been what somebody was looking for. For most of you, you're going to recognize the difference in a new connection. Or I did see somebody transforming here. If somebody didn't have enough to give, if they kind of were working on an empty battery or from an empty plate, maybe their intention was that they wanted to give to you. Maybe Cupid's arrow hit them with you a long time ago, but they had to have the upheaval, transformation, make room, maybe even learn self-love, so they filled up their own cup of love. So when they perhaps come back in your life transformed, they can really give back that time and attention, because I feel like it's more about giving time and having experiences than anything physical. It might be somebody has a gift for you, but I don't really feel like it's that energy. I feel like it's something more sweet, like a flower. It's sentimental. It's thoughtful. That's why it's valuable. Yeah, because even with the full moon, it could have been that somebody had to release something or really feel more full on their own, instead of somebody else always fueling them up, energetically speaking. So clarify, 6 of coins, please. What else? Oh, I really like this. I really like this because even if something comes in really fast, the Knight of Coins, look at this person. They're balancing a motorcycle on a tightrope over a city while wearing a sassy suit and holding that big pentacle, that big. So now this is somebody with a very tangible, realistic offer. They're going to extremes to get over to you. It's like if they didn't have a bridge to you, they're like, I'm gonna Indiana Jones my rope over the whole city. I'm taking my motorcycle with me and I'm gonna make it across that way. So it could have been a bridge that was burned, or this is somebody that would, I mean, really figure out a solution to get across to you, or to help something to happen, to end up at that finish line, because the Knight of Coins is the one that throughout the experience usually is the first to hit the finish line. Maybe not get there the quickest, but they're always the one that kind of comes out a winner, because they put time, attention, effort, energy, loyalty, diligence into every single step towards getting there. It's generally an earthy sign, but it doesn't have to be. It can be a Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. But it's somebody that, even though it's an earthy sign, look at how they're looking at that landscape through a spiritual perspective, through the higher perspective. So maybe this is something that never got off the ground, but as soon as this person gets to the other side, they're going to know how to ground that motorcycle and groove, move. The knight knows when to walk, take it slow. This knight knows when to get on that motorcycle and rev it up and, you know, hit 6th gear. It's adjustment on pace. If this knight is upside down, because we look at everything both ways. If it's someone upside down, it's someone that, what did I say here? They hesitated a little too long. They didn't accept that invitation. They got too comfortable and complacent on the couch. I see that as somebody imbalanced. You know, they put too much attention in one area of their life and they're lacking somewhere else. It's someone who can be a little bit lazy, a little bit of a couch potato, but that's only upside down. When this person's upright, they're a hard worker. They will go out and handle, you know, plowing that whole field by themselves if they have to, but they also know that if they can't do it all in a day, it's time to turn in, eat some dinner, you know, rest, wake up early with the rooster in the morning and get back to work. It's somebody that knows how to adjust because they know that each step is progress in the right direction. It is somebody that has patience. It could be that you have to have patience with a certain person. Maybe you typically like to move, you know, moving in a shaking, get something cooking. And this person is somebody that likes to take their time because they want to put their energy in the right way, because they look at what is valuable in their hand and know that what is valuable is worth the effort. It's worth the energy. It's worth the attention. I feel like this is somebody recognizing, you know, how valuable time is with you, how valuable your heart is. And sometimes this is a kind of a funny energy because you don't always see how hard they're working. You know, just picture everyone in that city down there working away, busy little bees. You don't even recognize this sassy guy in a suit on a motorcycle on a tightrope going across the whole city. Sometimes this is the night that takes home the homework, you know, that works behind closed doors where no one else can see, and you only see that finish line. You only see that final result. You don't recognize how much work was put into something to get there. What does it even say? Patience to succeed and unbalanced actions. So you have two balancing kind of energies here coming through. What is another message? Wow. What was that? Well, it's taking you to your wish come true. You got your genie in a bottle here. Maybe it's slow and steady wins the race. Maybe it's that kind of energy where with the 9 of Cups, I feel like you don't get to the end and get that wish and that's it. Blow out the candle, you're done. This is a beautiful energy of happiness restored, or something keeps coming back around. You ask for 100 wishes, and on wish 99, you can ask for 100 more. It's like the open bar. So you have to recognize with this dreams come true, genie in a bottle, all your desires are right there. Something can manifest and unfold again and again and bigger and brighter. That, how do you savor that? I mean, this is the night that would know how to savor it. How do you savor those moments? You know, really indulge in every bite of that one piece of chocolate cake at the smorgasbord. It's not the gluttony energy here where it's wanting to eat 20 chocolate cakes at once because if you don't have them all, they're gonna disappear. you know, and then you just have a big old bellyache. There's plenty for tomorrow. There's plenty to share. But this energy is best when it's savored. When it's already being satisfied in the now, in the bite that you're taking. It's wishes granted. Upside down, it's empty promises. Somebody that has big words and doesn't follow through. I would say here, even if somebody's taking a little bit extra time to follow through, it's because they're having a lot happen or having a lot of changes on the process of that journey so they can really come through full. But if this is really somebody you're connecting to and they're in and out like lightning, big words, no action, then I don't feel like that's who you're connecting to. If you have somebody that's just taking and then they're running, that's not this person here. Let's get another one. Wow, that was so quick. Wow. This is somebody that is looking at you and them like through this success through the generations. This is somebody that wants to plant that pentacle in fertile ground. Even if this is somebody uprooting, says upheaval, uprooting where they were in life so they can put deep roots in with you. This could be somebody that has children or wants to have children with you. Or I'm getting instantly loves your children if you have them, or grandchildren. Because this is a family energy. But there's something about replanting something. Long-term growth. This is the energy of wealth. But what wealth is to one person, what somebody's wish is, you know, is possibly really different for another person. And it could also be that energy of wealth is revitalized. It's almost like the definition can change if two people's dreams come together and merge in a different energy. And it's almost like you can create this new concept of anything that you thought your life plan would be from the past. Plans can always be thrown out the window and be adjusted and change. But this is somebody that wants all those changes to always benefit with successful energy, long-term, beautiful plans and dreams that keep coming true. This is somebody that wants to leave a legacy behind. But I also see that as full acceptance towards everybody's individual wishes and dreams. For some of you, this could be buying property. For some of you, it's buying a starter house, but it has the good bones. You fix it up, you make a little profit in the right, market, and then you get closer to that dream house each time. So sometimes you have to start small to get towards that goal. It could also be an inheritance. Lasting security. This is somebody you feel secure with. Even if that lightning, struck pretty hard in the beginning, I am seeing that there was something that needed to fall away. It almost makes me see like a bunch of branches falling off of a tree so that they can regenerate and you can branch out, almost like jumping timelines in a different direction than could have happened before a little bit of destruction. What is it upside down? Underlining instability. That would be a rocky foundation. That would be what needs to have that actual tower energy of upheaval. Because if anything was working towards constantly had effort in. There's like a little bug there. Constantly effort in, but it was always a rocky foundation. It was always sort of wobbling. Eventually something's going to fall down because it wasn't the right soil. It wasn't the right environment. It wasn't the right foundation. It wasn't the right even surrounding energies. But when it's the right foundation to build upon, to plant something in, and the right energy throughout all of the decades, all of the chapters, it's like those roots just grow deeper and deeper, and those branches get longer and longer. I hear new possibilities. Let's get one more. What's one more? It's also an ending, though. So it could be that there was an ending for a brand new beginning that feels more stable. This could also be somebody working towards a goal or a job, a career, something like that. But I feel like those branches go out and something has deep roots because the work somebody's putting in feels like something they love, not so much like heavy labor or work. Let's get one more. One more from the tarot. Oh, you got a lot of confidence coming in. You have the Queen of Wands. So Queen of Wands is definitely somebody that walks into a room and they are noticed. So now you have a queen and a knight. Sometimes the knight isn't necessarily a personality. Sometimes this is the experience, the journey. It's like the tweener time in between. This queen, I mean, look at the energy around her. It's like the sun is following her. She's got like a panther energy. Just like hanging out with her. The Queen of Wands is confident. She usually is in the spotlight. She's usually very creative. She's very passionate. She's an inspiration to others. She walks in a room and she turns heads, or he, but it's a feminine energy. So this queen recognizes when to sit in that come hither kind of energy, and things will just be magnetically attracted to her because she vibes really high. She burns fiery and bright and inspiring. She's usually expansive, like that tree that grows. She usually wants to be in new experiences and develop new dreams. She's not afraid to do something a little bit different. She likes to stand out and be a little unusual. She doesn't have to be an extrovert. She can be very quiet, but she's still noticed. I also feel like this is the queen that pulls others out of, like off the couch. Maybe gets them a little bit uncomfortable because she generally sees if somebody's talented or if somebody has this love and desire to have a certain experience, she'll create that experience, help somebody else gain the confidence, and give them like a little boosteroo. Like she would be the one to give somebody a pep talk. She would be the one to be on stage, or I don't know, even if it was business and she's like kind of a boss energy, or should be, that she would want to be around other people that are probably not the same as her, because she kind of has more fun with everyone having fun, with everyone having an opportunity, with everyone having their own spotlight than just her being there in a one-woman band by herself. She can do it, but she's so confident in who she is and what she has to offer. She's not afraid of somebody coming along that might be a little bit better. Maybe they're going to take something away. You know, when she's upright, she's just confident owning it. And if somebody doesn't want to be around that kind of fiery energy, they're lost. You know, she's like that. Like, okay, well, maybe that wasn't for me. On to the next. Unless she is upside down. We'll take a look at that. If she's upside down, she's catty. She's competitive. She's probably a gossip. Probably instead of having that beautiful spotlight, she'll even use that spotlight to try to notice others' insecurities instead of how they could be in possibility. You know, she tries to shine that light towards someone else's mess up, hoping that makes her look brighter, and in turn it doesn't really do that. It's just shining that reflection of her insecurity. It's somebody who's always fearful that somebody else is better, or somebody's going to take away her opportunity, or it's lack mentality upside down. Upright, she's not in any energy of lack because, you know, whether she has it all or has just a little, that's enough. Confident ambition. She's a go-getter for sure. Upside down, it's fearful yearning. It's maybe even somebody that uses, because I feel like she can be a little bit masculine, even though she's a feminine energy. So she would maybe be the one chasing after somebody else. Love bombing a little too much. Even overly flattering someone to kind of stroke their ego to get something out of it. There's always something a little off about that energy. It's like tooting her own horn a little too loud. So let's clarify the queen now. Clarify the queen. Wow. Wow. Whatever I said before about like it's okay to adjust the rules or your goals or that future plan or a legacy, you got the Hierophant. So it could be a Taurus here. Also, this is Leo, Sagittarius, Aries-like energy, but those are just personality traits. We all have different facets inside of us. The Hierophant could be leading somebody from love to Cupid's arrows to all that chemistry to many wishes coming true and many experiences and towards marriage. The Hierophant is a wise counsel, wise teacher. It's either two people together creating new rules, creating their own rules, or one person in a group of people where even if they're really different, they vibe together. They're working on something together. So this could be school, institution, church, even a friend group, but it's usually where there are kind of rules or a structure involved so something runs smoothly. You know, if you have a road and it's a free-for-all out there on the highway and there's no stop signs, no one knows when to go or when to cross or all that. So it's good to be organized. But I always say it's kind of like that energy. It's a little more spiritual than just road signs. Maybe it's spiritual road signs. But if you have construction on the highway, you need some people out there bypassing the street light to keep traffic flowing accordingly. You know, if this is just somebody really traditional, I feel like there's something coming in here where somebody's traditions are adjusting or breaking. You can keep the beautiful traditions that work and that value system, but there's something bigger coming through where those values are changing because of experiences or because of a certain person. You know, this is traditional teachings. Sometimes traditional teachings are beautiful, but sometimes you meet a new person or you have a new experience in your life and all of a sudden what you were taught in school might not work for you anymore. Because sometimes teaching is conditional. Sometimes teaching is generational, and what worked in 1950 might not be what works now. What worked for, 4 generations before might feel a little wonky now. So there is something where you have to adjust and find out what works for you. And if this is about a marriage or a partnership, even if you had rules that worked with past partnerships, when you have two totally different individuals come in, you have to figure out what page you are both on and how it works. So you bring your values to the table, but there's that adjustable energy. There's also something where there's a spiritual value system that has to be embodied and lived. You can go and get that lesson and talk about how you went to church, or talk about how you went to that TED Talk, or talk about how you got that knowledge from that wise teacher. But if you don't embody it in your everyday life, it doesn't really count. You know, it's kind of like that, like the person that talks about all these things that they do, but then they don't live that truth. So you have this traditional teachings. There is some knowledge here in this book. Sometimes it's going by the rule book, and sometimes that rule book was for that last chapter, or was for a different machine, or a different relationship, or an old you. Upside down, it's unconventional thinking. I'm thinking outside the box. So let's clarify with something different. Let's get a message from the universe. I can't see the camera. It's way up here, so I don't even know how long this reading is. Let's get you a message from the universe. I do think for some of you, this is going to be, I don't know. I see like a blend. So it could be a blending, like a blended family or blended faiths. There's some, or even just a blend of, you know, how you were and how you grew up and how you saw the world and your original wishes, but somehow merging and branching out and being repotted into a different fertile ground with this confidence where you're adding this new spice to your life. I don't know what that is, but it feels good. It feels like you're creating something like unique in you and special. What is a message from the universe? Please and thank you. Love. Oh, I like this. Love yourself more by saying no to things that felt draining. I saw all that stuff with that lightning, feeling plugged in. So you have to look at where you felt unplugged, or uninspired, or taken advantage of, or where somebody was just taking, you were giving, because that could be somebody that really does like to give. But if somebody gives out of unconditional love and from, you know, the authenticity and the truth of their heart, but there's energies that have no problem with somebody else, you know, being completely drained, then somebody has to have the kahunas to just say no sometimes. Say no to things that aren't right. Sometimes saying no is loving. So love yourself more by saying no to things that feel draining and burdening for you. Say no when you want to say no, instead of saying yes to please other people. It is a real act of self-love. You started and ended full circle. But the underlying message here is it's okay to say no. You can't always please everyone. You can't always, I don't know, go with what the conditions were, the status quo, what you were told you had to be, who you were told you had to be with, where you had to build, how you have to take something step by step and grow. Sometimes you gotta like color outside the lines, figure out how to pave your own path, rediscover your dreams all along the way with who you are becoming. And sometimes when there's upheaval, that's you being okay with cutting some strings or leaving some people in the past that no longer groove with you. If there's anybody draining you or restraining you or holding you back from going towards these wishes, I feel like over here you're going to figure out a way through, a way out, a way to, an inspiration because saying yes to please other people, but you're forgetting about yourself, then, you know, you end up getting to the end goal, the end game, the 5-year plan, the structure, the rules, but you're not enjoying the ride. And time is a gift. Time, more than things, is what we are not guaranteed. So if there's the timing right now of changes you need to make, maybe that's going to make everything move fast like lightning as soon as you release old energies, or as soon as you refocus on where you feel plugged in, unconditionally loved, where you have the potential to grow, doing things that you love, shining more and more with this confidence because you're owning it. Maybe you're owning something, but like you're owning your uniqueness. This could also be confidence in a particular person or a particular relationship. Confidence that you can change. Confidence that sometimes with an ending is a beautiful, bright, brand new beginning. I think that is our reading today. Thank you so much for joining me here. I love you so very, very much. I appreciate you joining me. I hope this reading was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you mañana. Bye.